In South Carolina Weather Watchers, I am the host for South Carolina Weather, Just Peterson. Let's talk about the weather for your Wednesday. Now, looking at the radar right now, we do have pretty much this tropical storm is about to make landfall. It's right here. If you guys can kind of see it, this L right here, this is where the storm is, or it's about to be at any second or any minute. But it is right around here. You see the tropical storm force winds. You're seeing tropical storm force winds from around 39 to 57 miles an hour, go all the way from Conway, Myrtle Beach, Loris through Georgetown, the Charleston region as well. Beaufort, seeing some of those tropical storm force winds as well. And those will continue to move inland as we move through the next couple of hours. Speaking of those wind gusts, by the way, today at my house, I did see a gust of up to 62 today, and that's like without even really even the storm, because the storm is still not even here yet. So already 62 miles an hour at my house already, and I'm not on the immediate coastline either. So that just shows how strong these actual storms and winds can actually be if you're not even at the coastline. So that's something just to watch for. That's just something that I did just show. But here is the MRMS. It's just the entire United States right here. As we scroll my way outward, see we do have obviously tropical storm Debby down here. It's gonna move all the way up into like the New England regions of the U.S. We also do have some flooding, or some flooding about to on go, or some flooding about to occur, I should say, all the way up into places like the Mid-Atlantic, up into Pennsylvania as well. Even up here inside Canada, we do have some rainfall concerns up there. We also do have some rain and some severe weather, flooding rains going on all the way from Nebraska, Kansas, as well as the Four Corners region as well. Even up here inside the northern United States, some showers, storms going on up inside of even the upper Midwest and the northern, like, Rockies. So that's pretty much everything going on in terms of current radar. In terms of cloud cover right now, actually, it's not as much. It's about covering like Florence, Columbia, um, Augusta as well, the Midlands like Orangeburg, Sumter as well, Georgetown. But like places like the upstate of South Carolina, not really seeing too much cloud cover. Myrtle Beach is not even seeing that much cloud cover. Charleston's not really seeing that too much cloud cover. So honestly, not really too much in terms of cloud cover for for South Carolina right now. Honestly, I mean most of South Carolina is covered with clouds, but right now it seems like the majority, or I'd say the little slim bit that is not covered with cloud cover right now, has a little bit of a break for now. Here is our cloud cover total percentage. As you push this forward, and that's I might have to move it back a little bit. Okay, yeah, that should work. All right. So as we move this forward, and as we go through the next 8 or so hours, you can see that pretty much cloud cover will continue to be pretty persistent according to models. And then as we move into tomorrow morning, we start to see cloud cover start to still be inside the region, it will not leave quite yet. And honestly, it might be here all the way into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Here is our current temperature: 75 in Columbia, 77 in Charleston, 79 in Savannah, 79 in Myrtle Beach, 75 in Florence, 77 in Sumter, Rock Hill, Union, 80 inside of Greenville, 82 in Anderson. And then in terms of low temperatures for tonight, 73 in Columbia, 76 in Charleston, 74 Moncks Corner, 73 in Walterboro, 77 in Hilton Head Island, as well as 77 inside of Myrtle Beach, 74 inside of Cheraw, 72 inside of Rock Hill, 73 inside of Spartanburg, and then 75 inside of Greenville and Anderson. Here's our forecast precipitation in terms of the next 24 or so hours. Around 1 to 1.5 inches possible in Charleston, Georgetown, as well Walterboro. 1 to 1.5 inches. Maybe 4 to 6 inches possible in Sherrod, Dillon. 3 to 4 inches possible in Florence, Winsboro, and Rock Hill. 2 to 3 inches possible for Sumter, Camden, maybe even just to the north of Myrtle Beach, kind of like the Conway region. And then maybe even up to 1.5 to 2 inches if in Myrtle Beach, as well Columbia, Newberry, and then maybe an inch possible for Greenville, Spartanburg, maybe around a bit more than that. Anderson around a half an inch. Hilton Head Island about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. Same thing with Barnwell, and then half an inch to an inch in Aiken. So most regions are still going to see heavy rainfall, and honestly, the entire state could see at least a trace of rainfall because the up there inside of the upstate, the very far upstate, we do have the chance of seeing a trace or maybe a hundredth of an inch to a tenth of an inch of rain up there. Here's our SPC outlook in terms of today or tonight. We do have a slight risk that still includes portions of Horry County. We also do have a marginal risk that goes around it as well. But right now, as the new update just came in, a marginal risk, the slight risk got removed, and now we only have a marginal risk of severe weather that does come with obviously the tornado threat. Right here, just a 2% chance of tornadoes for the Myrtle Beach region. And then as we move on into day 2, tomorrow, Thursday, not really a chance for any type of severe weather tomorrow. And then day 3, we do have a TSTM that goes all the way from Columbia all the way down towards the coast. So that's about most people. The upstate won't really see any, but this is for Friday. So that's pretty much all that I have in terms of the SPC outlook. We're going to go to excessive rainfall now because we still do have a high risk of excessive rainfall still in effect for the PD region of South Carolina. And that's pretty much all that's getting the high risk. The moderate risk goes around it from North Charleston, Mount Pleasant, the entire Tri-County region of South Carolina goes through Fayetteville as well, Jacksonville, North Carolina. And then a slight risk that goes from Savannah, Georgia, all the way up into Virginia, like Norfolk and Virginia Beach. And then a marginal risk that goes all the way from places just to the north of Atlanta, all the way up to New Jersey. In terms of tomorrow, we do have a slight risk that goes pretty much throughout the entire state, a moderate risk that goes through as well a good chunk of the state, like Columbia, Rock Hill, Myrtle Beach, and then a high risk that does in fact go for the South Carolina North Carolina border over here near the Little PD River. As we go into Friday, marginal risk takes over most of the state, but not really a threat for any type of excessive rainfall. Also, if you do hear some rain inside the background, it is really windy outside, and rain is hitting my window, so if you do hear that, that is why. We do have also a marginal risk that goes through Sunday, August the 11th as well, that goes for a marginal risk just for mainly most of South Carolina, except for like the upstate region. And now let's talk about the models as well. So up here towards the HRRR, that's the satellite, that is not models. We're going to go to HRRR and we're going to go to the 18Z. Here is composite reflectivity. And we move over to around 9 o'clock. Right here. And then as we push this forward, you see that rain is moving in all the way through Florence, Hartsville, Sumter, Manning, Dillon as well. That's definitely going to bring in some heavy rain throughout the PD region. Definitely some heavy rain through there. As we go into tomorrow morning, even more rain, more wind starts to pick up, even in the inland portions as well. Up there towards Rock Hill, Charlotte, around the late morning hours. Here's 2 o'clock p.m. could look like showers and heavy downpours moving even into the upstate as well. Here's what 6 o'clock p.m. could look like. Showers and maybe even some strong downpours up there in the upstate and near the coast as well. And then we have like these training storms or these training downpours, training gusty wind train over here near like the Allendale, Walterboro, down through the Tri-County region. and then that's going to move through. Here's what 4 o'clock in the morning could look like right here in the low country of South Carolina and the PD region, where we still have that chance of some, still have the chance for some heavy rainfall through that area. And as we push it through, look at 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Nice, probably not clear conditions, but definitely some better conditions than what we've been seeing. But as we go into 2 o'clock, showers will start to pop up there inside the upstate. That's everything in terms of the models. Let's go on and let's talk about Tropical Storm Debby now. Right now, Tropical Storm Debby is a 60-mile-per-hour storm. Heavy rainfall across portions of the Carolinas is expected to persist through Thursday along the areas with areas of considerable flooding. Expected heavy rainfall will also result in considerable flooding impacts across portions of the mid-Atlantic states and northeast through Saturday morning. Tropical storm conditions will affect portions of South Carolina and North Carolina coast through Thursday. Tropical storm warnings and watches are in effect. Coastal flooding due to storm surge is likely along portions of South Carolina and North Carolina coastline through Thursday. So again, some tropical storm conditions obviously ongoing. I just talked about it just a second ago. Definitely tropical storm forest conditions outside, at least in my house right now. And then as we go to like storm surge potential as well, storm surge potential really, if you look down here near like Folly Beach, all the way up into the South Carolina North Carolina border, up to 1 to 3 feet of storm surge is still possible, going all the way from Folly Beach all the way up into like, I think that's Ocracoke Inlet, North Carolina. 1 to 3 inches or 1 to 3 feet of storm surge is possible all the way through there. Here's the warnings and the surface winds. Obviously, I was just talking about it. Tropical storm force conditions, especially impacting the coastline, that will move inland as we move through the nighttime hours. And here's the rainfall threat as well. The rainfall threat has shifted away from the Charleston region and up into the PD region instead, for still around a good 6 to 8 inches of rain, maybe even 8 to 12 in portions of North Carolina. That's pretty much everything in terms of Tropical Storm Debby. I mean, if you want to look at the arrival time of these winds, really around Wednesday 8 a.m., Thursday 2 o'clock in the morning. So really tonight, like I said, is going to be the main night for these winds and to really start to kick up a lot for most of our regions. So that's pretty much everything in terms of that. Let's go and let's talk about the models for the future. Let me move on to the GFS. And this is what just the future could look like. We'll look at Tropical Storm Debby as well, but I also want to talk about just the future, just ahead of Debby as well. That's going to move on out of here, Debby will. And then around August the 10th, August the 11th, showers and downpour storms still possible. August the 12th, showers and downpours still possible. And that will continue through the next couple of days, as you can see here. Also, you can see this little thing down here, 988 millibar low pressure. I was just about to talk about that because we have another area of interest that we're watching all the way to August the 17th. This is 10 days out, so this will change. But honestly, a lot of people were talking about it. This is the same thing that happened with Debby. We thought that it was going to be kind of like out towards the coast and not really going to impact, but it ended up coming up to Florida instead. So I'm not saying that it will, but I'm saying that we still need to watch this anyway, because this, if it really wanted to, and if the models were really wrong, it could try to hit a second landfall in South Carolina in 10 days, which would be honestly, I wouldn't call it interesting. I'd just call it unlucky. But as it moves on out, more showers, more storms towards the coastline, and everything else is a bit too far out from like August the 20th on forward in terms of that. So let's move on to the Euro model. This is the one that's pretty much gotten Debby spot on, more than the other models at least, and it has Debby pretty much going through North Carolina, Virginia, and heading on out with barely any change to anything that the National Hurricane Center has been saying. And for the Icon model as well, Icon model has agreed with it. It was thinking that almost close to 100-mile-an-hour winds would gonna hit the Myrtle Beach region, but that was a bit too biased on the stronger side. and that's going to move out of here as well. So just a tropical storm, strong tropical storm still forecasted for especially coastal areas as well. Still going to have to watch out for 60 mile per hour sustained gusts, 70, maybe even 80 miles an hour in some coastal regions as well. I do want to talk about the winds as well, because I was just talking about earlier. So here is, this is not what I want. If you go to wind gust over here, move all the way up to Debby up here, and let's just do somewhere over here. Let's do Georgetown. So over here, like in Georgetown, for example, we're gonna go to let's do Friday, and then let's do our max winds. All right. So these are everyone's pretty much max winds throughout the next, I'd say like the next like 48 hours or so. Obviously, this could be wrong, because this is one model run, but right now, like Myrtle Beach, it says 40. Charleston, it says 35. I think Charleston will get way more than that. Like Somerville, 29, way more than that. Columbia, 36, probably a bit more than that. Florence, like, honestly, I think that this might be a bit on the weaker side. But if you go to somewhere like the GFS pretty much says the same thing, a bit more on the weaker side. The GEM, again, probably a bit more on the weaker side. So honestly, I think that these are kind of underdoing it a little bit. So I think that you could definitely see like a lot more in terms of wind gusts, especially as it's moving through. But that's pretty much it I have in terms of conditions right now. Let's check on the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We have 11 people in here and 8 likes. Let's get that like button up a little bit. And everyone, we're about to read everyone's chats in a second. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, JP. Good evening. My cousin says, hi, Joseph. Hello. My Nana says, hi, Jay. Rain and wind over here again. Yes, same thing over here as well. And then my cousin Dad says, hey, Joseph, I hope you and everyone else can be marked safe from all of this chaos. Yeah, I mean, it's not like as chaotic as maybe like it was forecasted to be like a bit earlier, but still like I was saying, still tropical storm force conditions outside right now. Again, and like I said, winds, let me see, was my strongest wind yesterday was 62, and that was before even tonight. This happened like this afternoon. It was just a stray 62 mile per hour wind gust that just came at pretty much from nowhere. But we're going to continue moving on. We're going to talk about the San Antonio and Raleigh regions. If you are in South Carolina, you do want to leave the conditions at what's going on at your house right now. That would be, or your place, or wherever you are inside of South Carolina. You can leave that inside the chat as well, and I will read them out. But here's what's going on in terms of San Antonio for rain. Not really any rain is expected during the next 48 hours. Just not a lot's going on. If we switch over to temperatures and we pull out our little tool over here, moving on through here, we're going to push this forward. We're going to go into the nighttime temperatures. And this evening, low temperatures will probably get to around, I'd say around close to like 78-ish. And then tomorrow, high temperatures around 101. Low temperatures tomorrow around 75. And then around 96 at around 2 o'clock on Friday. Let's move on up here towards Raleigh, North Carolina as well. In terms of Raleigh, in terms of rain, or not rain, but temperatures, low temperatures tonight around 74, high temperatures tomorrow around 80, low temperatures tomorrow around 74, and then 86 going into your Friday. And then here is our rain totals as well for Raleigh as we move through the next couple of 48 hour or so hours. Rain will really start to get going, probably has already started already. Even as we get into tonight, that rain is really going to kick up. This is what 4 o'clock in the morning could look like. Definitely heavy downpours that could be going through, scattered downpours again going into tomorrow afternoon, and as we go into even, let me check, this is Friday morning, showers, thunderstorms still going on in terms of rainfall. Let's talk about severe weather for both of y'all. Here is the excessive rainfall outlook. We're going to work it actually backwards. That might be a bit better. Sunday, this is for day 5 Sunday. We have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall. That's just for Raleigh, so minor flooding is possible on Sunday. Saturday, no threat, but on Friday, Raleigh does have a slight risk of excessive rainfall, so some scattered flooding is possible on Friday for Raleigh. And then we have some damaging flooding that can be possible even as we go into Thursday, tomorrow. And then another slight risk of excessive rainfall, so scattered flooding is possible going into tonight if those showers and storms do develop. As we go into severe weather, not really any type of severe weather for Raleigh. I don't really have to look at San Antonio because there's not really anything going on there. I do believe Raleigh does have a 2 to 5% chance for some tornadoes, so you're going to have to watch out for some isolated to scattered tornadoes going into tomorrow. No threat for any type of severe weather going into Friday. So I think that's pretty much it in terms of all the things that I have. We did get a couple of messages. Let me read those out real quick. Does say, my mom says it's pouring rain at my house now. Thank you for your report. It's like, I mean, I had no idea that it was raining outside, but my cousin Thad also says thank you. Yes, thank you for tuning in and for leaving your comments as well. And I think that's all that I have in terms of tonight. So hopefully everyone has a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. I'm going to go back to live radar. This is what it looks like right now. We have 190. We need 10 more people. I think I think we were at 188 when I ended yesterday. I think we needed 12 more yesterday. Okay, so we at 190 now. And we need around 10 more people to reach our goal of 200 before August the 31st, and then we will be on the road to 250, which would be a quarter of 1,000. So we're getting closer. The day that I get close, or the day that I hit 1,000 would be a very fantastic day. But we got to get to 200 first, and then 250, then 300, 400, 500, etc. So that's why we are going to be doing this forecast hopefully every single day that I can, growing, and you guys need to do your parts in terms of sharing as well, because if you guys share, that will get us there quicker and will help the growth even more. So that's all that I have in terms for tonight. Everyone stay safe out there, especially if you're near the coast or even just close to the coast in general, because these winds that are pushing in are no joke. And I will be back tomorrow morning with another forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.